Right. Yamon komo. Aha your all sport GHL YouTube masanswaba. Yeah, the latest no the April big bibia find here.
Nyame adom bibia bokokwaku.
And there we ye munti me was say ye kakra, but we need to have a conversation because in Yemen bebre koso I was say me no ho bon komo. Thomas type Partey akọ courts. Na ye be sha said ye free ho. And they oko Crown Courts Southwark war and Thomas Partey ko bi
Kwaku.
ye be can stories and ba mem kire on ye mesi wo ho. Okay. Story we ye breaking the first e ba ye no. Na me be follow na unfortunately time na no mo ye na e kodi baby kakra nti no. Ma me kire om de si ye pa amfa kire. Unim say ene you need just around by 40 minutes per whole.
Okay.
Oh,
quarter. 14 minutes.
Yeah. So first of all, now was say Omushia Ghana time by 9. British and I say England time 10 o'clock. So we can move 1 hour, right? Okay. Now Ninyina say mpenyimfo no on say ideally na wasanka asem no mo kan ntam. But not Thomas Partey move from England across Spain. So time ni mo aso so na Ghana be international game because say asat now no. Ye penyifo no nka asem wie a court nka asem wie a wontimi nka se tome odi for announce on dibim.
Sure.
Inti e was also ten ase kakra o accommodate no. Inti senior omo respect nipa e wa abrochire titru no. Na it was almost so Allah because he's going to represent his national team and it makes a lot of sense. And
yeah.
They needed to allow that. Fortunately for all the parties, now Tommy Beba England. Abe Bobo. There was somebody show. Senebeya. Right after the BRL game, the team no kwa no what's nasi nafi wako. Yenu call around 9:20 sana matsi na ora ho no na omobo ni din Thomas Partey and o confirm say you know a date of birth 13th June 1993 and o confirm say ono a and then the omo ye no plea or pre-trial preparation. Ninyina say eho ana omo bisa ne say asame a ye de abowi ye ready esa be ready charges na de a kire say asame a ye de abowi ujitum ana say wonjintum te say de guilty or no guilty na we yi ano enti eho ana ye nua no e be ka say onye guilty enti onya ka say onye guilty dia na che say ye ba be tra asam no afa ho me ba chwata because so ojitum say e guilty dia na afei ya tra asam no e dia afa ho nti ha ena na ye crucial no nti Partey sorry no so onye guilty and I'm so okay onye guilty
na say onyintum say wadi boni bia
nyame shira say wadi abatwi na mame onjintum say wadi boni niam ni nyina mo de aboni ni nyina a mo kenkan kire no ba ku kure ni wajitum say no kure
okay
nti ayesa dia na say mpanyifo so okay ene ye sadia asam no ye bekom ye betra asam no ankasa because obeji atum dia anka mekanta okay ndi obeji atum dia the punishment bia wo bia kwakwa ba ye nuane so onjintum nti mpanyefo no e ka say trial date no on the 2nd of November 2026 unze wo yembe show pai more than 1 year e da e be start ya ka asam no 2026 2nd of November
afia chikura
more than 1 year. Then chiremu ni nyina ne say omu chire ye nua ne say enema bebre wo ho say omu say omu wo backlog of cases I was so omu ka nti no they needed to let him know nti no onko na on 2nd of November next year because cases now doso e wo ho say ne be almost benya time aka asem no but within that period ni nyina no Tommy betimi an dey first so ye bia na mom conditions ni bi nie man be a seven form no on team in contact to omo de tosu bio se opeso to kwan efi Spain wo ko baby a e was so informing aposifo no say British police for a day me number momo me pese me to kwan ko bibi sei mun jotin to
Yeah.
afei efia o team e wo Spain wo the address ni nyina akoma o se eno so o tu e de efifie ho a o inform yo mo patcho ati ase
Yeah.
nti wagye ni nyina atum enom soki and the stadia kona kodi udwuma na bibi wo ho ne ye hia wa ye be catch but for now ne de e da ye be start ya ka asem no 2nd of November 2028 sorry 2026 nti yenua no enko na onkodi ni dwuma ma briefly asem ni nyina de ama anche eno san so kotena
I think yes, some breath of respite for our brother.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking, it be probably obi wo ma obi nya na nka ya ka asem ne kwa na asem de na asem
no so mo me wo mo
na afei wo hu se o trimu fine adwene mu fine asa ya kan na o si o dwumadie bi no akwa akodi o na wanya trimu fine de akwa akodi ne dwuma na so de akwa akosi na kan. But on the other side of the coin and so no, at least within that 1 year period, you know, we free say unim sa asem na ye beka no ebre kakra wom a wo bibia obetimi anya bre na wo de aye ebi mpo information bi na obetimi agada na wo de back with defense and who claims say undi for unim asem ne ho hwe krampo na ebetimi aboa ma wo nso so wo ne wo lawyer na say wo legal team and so agada enough information about
good angle good angle I like we be we raise asem ne de afa because e was so here say osubenya ample time say be evidence bi wo ho a ampa I like that
the same way and the judges and so no and now say nipa na ono so akwa ye case e de atia wo no ono so sa meri ade bi ono so wo obetimi agada na ode akwa akoko atia wo court ono bia ono so gada wo
ampo eno so ho
yes
assemble
enti court no so no kwaku meni umienu nim say court ye nka no kore ye camera ewo court enti ebetimi aba say wudi bem but wudi bem de be kwa akodi for ewo court because ebia wanya the right evidence ebia wantimi anka wasem yie enti within this 1 year period no yesre yenua no onfangada ni information bia a kire say odi bem na mum ondi for because we info any evidence I will be provided no eno ne ye be hwe so na ye gina so de aka asem ne aka say ampa nsema si kan de na kire say oni for
okay
enya ya no keke and I did be man answer for court.
And they very important because that crowd here I was say mama you invite a lawyer for no back no obecheche ye niam because niam ni bebu a ya na ye nhede nim sa on say ye wa bonten a on say a lawyer for na judges for na dwuma but obey anase who follow cases are no on say dwuma no sani ya musi unu abonten nte sa o
debi kra
masa because say so munya botre nimde adwemu ade na mo ye no ti de bia adwuma we de me salute o pa honest because
main court proceedings and our court enko how certain things are done ofa niam bi tra
enti na obo wa ogina abonten na onte niam na ase master because ade e be ya na say hwe o say obi enye bibi na wo bua no kumfo what I say but so wonya botre na o ka asam no a animom ye better chance obe rush na wakuti
me court ko hu obi a na mete wa abonten but sorry to say na me feel say nyansa nim so say me court ko witness bi obi a wa tokro no de onim ho hwe
eno so ye say ye serious pa o
onim ho hwe obi na akọ wia police ni bi bicycle e na wakoto ama no
oi
onim ho hwe according to the guy
hey
and nipa na oton ma no o twi bicycle na police ni ahia no and watch no say bicycle no ne dia yenka me to bi ho fa me ko dipa kro no ho omo ko dipa kro ni fie si dipa na tukwan be 3 months ni
hey Jesus Christ
so now at the end the say yam pa no ne ton ma
no ni asem no
e bi mpa wo nim say watukwan dada enti no wa hye da say ono ne ton ma
ampa eno so a good angle Challenge read Lord. Lord,
eventually, yanka. The guy was jailed for 2 years
because they say no. Then say but you need to prove it.
Yes.
In the Thomas Partey scheme, they be able to say no. Yenyan bana or kasano. I was say prove beyond reasonable doubts. God,
sure.
You see, he who alleges
must prove. Yes.
In no. Sebi the entire wires are also so bibi are also be back. In Yenya Partey also for competent lawyers.
Yes. Njali se nyamia ya na wanya afimu a
the boa but ade disadvantage back kwa e na what say de ye nyina time yesusu no bigi say ye ka say e mas we kodi bone na wa ba fie na ye so ba pa e ba be boa uye mbese saa say 5 hours no maya won to da anameboa until say oba be bo obu wi a
ebi wo no ka say da be ba be to o se oba na wa wu obo ta da ba fie on ka hwe na wadidi asema wadwae asema da ko dwae na koda sana juru ntimi na because nim za ho mache
be so nti adibo ho a e ba ne ntam so so anka ye o
eti uja ya na ki abo adwubre na hu sura ma koda na ho ato.
Yeah, let's move on. And then stop it. Stories no do so. You know, Yenya Thomas Partey. As at now, Mr. Nidi Mua courts and a betche say a yen cre say a yen cre. Into Yenina, there are some about tour for the respects of the courts. Ye jai their tour. But what you say?
Yeah.
So, Thomas Partey, you can only wish him well.
Sure.
As Ghana for, we can only wish him well.
Sure.
But what that say, I no cry now say no cry no. I quote us some. It's information there, bro. You move on to the next one. And this
yeah.
You have a stories in Bebremu. And now I saw one picture of the Arsenal Bilbao game na Yenua Inaki Williams. Na one William Saliba. Ejina, me wa chobi give one picture na no. I'd wanted to point something out just a minute. Baby, I'm going to try a picture. No, when start you now is no.
Yeah.
For purpose of education, my main cast me just a minute. Start you know the origin or say an answer start you know. Rafael Mourinho Aranzandi. Tie. A dino way Ebia in Saudi familiar. Way any friend Pichichi.
Okay.
On say o Spain now ji go kina eso wa ji Pichichi. Pichichi no obi din. Ni din ankasa de Rafael Mourinho Aranzandi. Na no obo Atletico Bilbao.
Okay.
Na Pichichi no so obo baller. De ntia na hu feeling the pa or de ade white ebo ni nti. Na o show goes brutal. Ovu nya no old pictures mami. No or she goals but they be na we bonity or she goals in fact on the television Pichichi ni na between 1911 mu baby no started so about just 89 games per and no say 83 goals odi 29 years no
Pichichi a prolific
89 games 83 goals. Wow. It's not say goals pa but at age 29 and no free.
Oh,
ya rene man free. So free wintem. Inti na bakwa sam ene dawa. Esan sana na nhwe Paul mu bebrebe inti no. Say okọ Spainer. Oji goalkeeper. Yes waji Pichichi. Me so say nipa dodo na akra nim. If for just of education because no ya kira de ye bibie more information almost education entertainment and about information, right?
Information.
Just for information and education sake, say what's it Pichichi ni nyina ye no bobo edema Atletico Bilbao. What you say? Into Jotsi no down. Ni dia ka say Rafael Mourinho Aranzandi. And no one some no. Interestingly, on the 1st of March 1922. Until Pichichi no you move on until one say Bilbao for the big game bia no a the captains ni mienu ko gina ho no matwa picture What I say? To be bow for so. And then let's move on. And the betray more for and the Arsenal for picture way. Then if I don't want to see us here, and the Arsenal for the week or two, because and what's some no. Afei,
pay respect to Pichichi.
Much respect. Fantastic. Biggie, Lisandro Martinez. Minoka say CCA or Trumika or Manchester Carrington.
Oh, that's good.
We just put that down.
That's good.
We feel you when you
yes. May pair defenders and as a central defenders of Manchester United. He's my best.
Yes.
Oh, defender there was almost when he had ding. I said until a friend the butcher of Amsterdam. I will be butcher or Parker. So he's a good player. And aside, Sane had tackles. He's a ball playing centre back. Say him for ball and to form na more. There are times at defensive midfield, obey me about left back amount. And he is one player who has a lot of makes qualities, and he gives you a lot of options whenever he's on the field of play. To Manchester United, they lose, In fact, me one person they have me power. So I'm very happy. Say finally, we started live training now. What me about see a kind of Manchester United. I'm only hoping, say, in times like this, a third eye players in the lives, o prache kakra, o bon say oba. Nyankopo anya wadoma bibi keto abi na asa akwa gravity injury no sign baba be konchan. Let's look at the Kai Havertz situation. Or starting na de keto abi wasan so pra or konchan. I'm hoping say bibi sa nkonkoto no as a footballer no betimi stay fit na we see a kind of United.
Stay with Manchester United ansana ye bra ye main issues mo no. And Manchester United a record. Record ne say
a unwanted record, right?
A good record.
Sir.
Say Manchester United in terms of revenues
and Amorim
they be we penyifo sika aba boboku no mu.
I'm for technical
afini mu nyina sika eba boboku no mu no. Revenues and Brunisi revenues. It drew 666 million pounds. Revenues a buy. Inti a hit all-time record. Nemom ya tete e kani nyina free mu no. Moboka 33 million pounds. But Manchester United say attention no is on revenue no kwa. Na Omar Barada say for Manchester United to achieve that even in difficult period nature say club no headed towards the right direction. In say one some the minimum say
is that what he's thinking?
Well, that is what your CEO is saying.
Maybe it only says one thing. Adia can say Manchester United is a big club. But in terms of direction, there is nothing that shows it is heading towards the right direction.
Okay.
Debbie, and that's team class is permanent and form is temporal. Manchester United is a big class. It is in that status of a big club. And that thing is permanent. And on a Wahonum and a United DDD. But for the direction of the club, I am not seeing that it is heading towards a good direction. They have to do things for 1 month away.
Well, and the cry near a case, ye keke remua, ye kako baby, a ye babe, remaka game in Unquawasam. And apart Trent Alexander Arnold echo ye, Kushia doctors, Biggie. Trent are some day, ya. Okwai nom de 9 left no ewo nom de share machine mo hwe say master upra no eden on say 9 left no obetini fi almost 2 months na games at Trent ebe Messi Espanyol, Levante, Atletico Madrid, Kairat, Villarreal, Getafe, Juventus, Barcelona, Valencia. We games at Trent Alexander Arnold and so ebe Messi. Very, very unfortunate.
Quite unfortunate for a player. I want to make a move into a big club like Real Madrid there. The part of the one I expect is a Okoye now hit the ground one in our ball at the Ama club no. But the player in question, looking at the pedigree and in the level, Liverpool, he was among the top right backs. But he moved to Real Madrid, and we haven't seen that kind of performance under the Liverpool.
Yeah,
probably he's still in the adaptation period. So be adapted well to the system or Real Madrid, or be adapted well to the environment. Our finding who see a crampono. It is understandable, but the money and say player now on finding the fit, you know. Sign so aqua pra. Ain't player say pra. You are not even fit for you to be available for selection. Nan campese wabo no get it back to the former and unti about to the oba, you know. And the more obono now all getting used to the system and everything. But unfortunately for the player, only getting used to the system. The plans so sign Hano. But in 24 will be guy will not be soon coin my I feel say it's a very big opportunity for Kabada.
No, so and not your koye. Also, Papa Penyimu pa and give me where I am from rag game in the money and come once. Papa Penyimu, a dinsem who say, but before Becca gave me one now I can't win in our boom. No, my main fa Dinhausen, La Liga for and say, Ombamana miss one game pay.
Why?
La Liga has some new refi as some Mrs. say Bassane, Madrid has some credit me be jai or more.
Is it because Omo a Gia to say referee decision was harsh?
Say me cry my break because as someone
because they have to explain for us to understand.
Me say uko spinner me cry na den say me say me ya bre omo ensam ka bio ne say where you to money way no we so to money way inti La Liga for no my confused and na me tie hodi hotter in training big one pa on so tilt ko Barcelona also obia sore na Madrid for and omanya Champions League dodo say Champions League dodo Champions League of kwakwansa offside goals penalties on kwana just almost share no makofa statistics ediaba say ye bought Champions League team say nya penalties dodo pa ye Real Madrid ne Bayern Munich and some pa omode batie
me ba okwaku started Champions League teams that won your penalty do pa Real Madrid ne Bayern Munich right nti Bayern Munich so Champions League only 15
masa some no omo case here but we you t omo say Madrid dey 63 penalty kicks
no nti na Real Madrid edge kese a nti na Bayern Munich so only 15
mamo angle bi the nti na yo mesre ni say ma me fa pen ni paper na me nchewade bi and now me see me nkofo me ja o masam kan bi hwade o Barcelona na din kan ba se Madrid for na penalties do pa omunya 63 na mo Barca for na 56 inte yesisie ana Madrid for na be kanta wo mo na mo say 63 na yenya no yenya 63 penalty kicks in 504 games ana wo Barcelona wenya 53 in 363 games into average
it is all striking average. Then it means Barcelona enjoy penalties.
This for me come as but no penalty they see you know. Second one, so first one it will be in no context here.
Yeah.
Second one no, myself for you happy. Barca for mambo boni be enye happy. As some way, as I generate in some biggie. And no game no akasa or comment any controversies see what game anymore. My mean see you na the next topic.
Kwaku, for me, I feel that Real Madrid was in a position that they needed to do whatever they needed to do to get the results. Yes. Maybe a chem. So, by Kai Timba, Kwano, Tai Real Madrid was Champions League. It was a French club.
Yeah.
Olympique Lyonnais.
Yeah.
At a point. Lyon Yashia Madrid was Champions League. Then it means Real Madrid last stop no film. It had to take Jose Mourinho. And a buyer, and will be breaking his jeans, and will qualify at the expense of Lyon, and a name as a sign the Real Madrid Bobo. In the French clubs, and found a Real Madrid here, Real Madrid, and found a Real Madrid here big, and found a Madrid here tough. They have that kind of mentality. Time you move Real Madrid piano, almost person Real Madrid Bobo. And if you are looking at Olympic Marseille team, and the kind of football they have played from last season, and yes, side they are that bad, Debbie. Deserve team now, and it's a very strong team. And they have a couple of experienced players. It's Aubameyang in their squad. Mason Greenwood is a young player. But on him born, the performance was sort of last season in the French League. He was one of the best players in the French League. Into Ushia such a side. I had thought that because aside the kind of quality they have, it is a team put so much premium on. It's a bimpa. On said down conco videos, baby. On said down conco key players, star players being shower Debbie, just because if you say, oh, you're Madrid, you are too big for a club like Olympique de Marseille. But for Marseille, Omo betimi afa player bi o Real Madrid bi anoma pe the videos ahwe. Ahwe kwan of us born the ball. Omo wi almost steady coach system and the tactics because Madrid is a way bigger club. Now all signs of Baba game no e Real Madrid fie. We shouldn't forget. So Real Madrid it's a team bit say Mame fa Bayern Munich Kenya example. Yes, start season now. And ya Barcelona no and a hard drink and omo to be Madrid that kind of competition. It was Spanish La Liga anymore. Kwaku in all honesty. Madrid who Spanish La Liga net say yeah, true. Their target is always the Champions League.
Yeah.
They say Bayern Munich are making. Oje Bundesliga na unye bibiam fa ma omo. Because omo players omo tono. They buy players for the European team standard. And yet the Bundesliga. Sana Madrid the NT. And Xabi Alonso. And found say ABA Spanish La Liga no only a couple of wins. Any idea started you know. Obi obeshia ni bia wa hye no e wo La Liga ni mu. But Obama be start a journey e wo Europe. Of which na Real Madrid priority. And competition chrono. Madrid ni mbocha team bia wa asase so bia. Eti Madrid for na ehwe. Kwan obefa so obe start the Champions League. And how you are going to start it? Ebe check the kind of performance obe dine di e wo Champions League ni mu.
Yeah.
Eti na Xabi Alonso here that win. By hook or crook. Said the Bayern obe started the Champions League journey very well. There were a lot of controversies in the game. But these things about football, especially with VAR, me I don't have a problem. In those days, time and VAR any honomo. And you might be saying, and I never game near there. And only the talking point they will give Nimuba. Oh, a penalty. Oh, and a penalty. Any idea? I had home come on.
Is that the so wa a bequetia or Rihanna had been say, SIA injustice.
Of course.
But football, the FIFA preaches fair play.
Of course.
Until we should go by the fair play.
That is why I said, say, and you may be saying in the presence of VAR, I am not can I be
no biggie
because I am waiting here the VAR by you.
So and some
so
way
the VAR itself is not serving its purpose.
Biggie, I disagree. Listen, some na nipa bi susu say VAR ain't save on the people. See VAR abebua pa.
Of course.
The problem is not the VAR. The problem is the people behind the VAR.
I feel it is the same thing because
VAR the same thing. Since your machine, you know, to say phone ya, it could tell me CCA. I had the po, but say nipa boy phobia, ebe fa phone on one. It makes the phone a bad thing.
Obi de dey scam.
What you say?
Obi de dey video call
niema. What you say? Inti phone a good thing. Nemom say ekodini pa bon phone semwa. It makes the phone bad. In the same vein, VAR is a good thing. But ekodini pa bon phone semwa. It makes VAR bad because there are instances VAR ama atentrene aba. We had incidences because of VAR.
Yeah.
Clear any doubts.
Yeah.
So those people deliberately who are causing problems even with VAR, no, we need to freeze those people out. So the problem is not the VAR. The problem is the people behind the VAR. It is obi ejinafa that VAR referees, if any of them and making mistakes be or deliberate mistake be punish them, take them out of the office, because we need to find ways you bet me a ball no a ball no even say a French him if Biggie won, Biggie deserves it. And yes sir, controversies, the mere fact that we want controversies in you know young quad ya be infantia or might be and I say club will be yeah, because so in the losing position sometimes so be prepare na incident BSC na yes say you kwa hwehwe mu it should have gone in your favor, but referee VAR ni wo sometimes na pa, but the VAR is there to correct all these things.
Yeah.
I want to say the problem is not the VAR. Yen try say nipa bon for na besem no mo yesa ni be you omo free ho, because some of these things you don't get it and na ade na esi ye no ade no mama referee na go check it.
That is another problem.
It is unconformed. Your chef are one necessary question. Because in maybe
my point
controversial. Let the referee go and check.
My point is that at the end of the day, referee now no mboko akotena vanachi.
Iba yoni papa oho.
But Kwaku, the thing is that some referees go ya ni di match say bi wo hono ma ya ni omo ya adwen. Ebi wo hono ma ya ni omo nya adwen no. So what you say? And I feel say now Vano ye the ba say meyi sa niam we nya de be emfam free ho. But se Van aba na se still na sa niam we da so wo hono mo a. Na eya ma na ye te say as a Vano sorry to say I te say mfa so ni so. Eji se ye pese ye ma nipa hu se Van serve its purpose akwaku. Van juma na se edini se endia referee na o te VAR room no de na o te akire nti asa juma de ni entimi amaso. Ama Van and serve its purpose no. The referee has to be punished.
Okay.
Said you thought that you punish center referees for certain decisions or take just because the decisions they took the wrong decisions. You know, I feel like it's time to VAR room on so the boy raho. Now referees don't want to VAR next, you know. So someone taking the right decisions. Omo ya ni da home and never be quote ya obia. Sa for necessary ban ni omo and answer you fine omo and answer the necessary the obia the disciplinary actions be ano. You take it against them because that decision it was questionable. It was questionable. Probably, I don't know. If you are not referee, me also call for handball because defender need to yibo.
Oh no, call for handball.
Yes,
yeah.
But the rule don't also say, say player then say si form. Na nensa no odi si form no, or they supporting the body abra or theater.
Yeah.
Na ball ni ko ball nensa no a. Sa ball no enje penalty. But in this instance, ball no so amon nensa na na si form no. A ball ba ko na or theater no wa peja dey pe support no. Which is the left arm.
Okay.
And but the right arm.
Okay. Okay.
But the rule talks about the right arm. The all theater or they pay support.
A ball,
the ball, yeah, no penalty.
Okay.
So
okay.
It's your thought that Emrano in this instance, and the last time I make say FIFA and then IFAB also gives room for referees to take certain decisions.
Yeah.
The room is that when it comes to situations like this, he will talk about the referee's discretion.
Yeah.
Referee no jinem fin oh who is saying.
Yeah.
And I thought that no more the no campoma the ama referee na fam.
I ask them all.
Oh, enti eye bibia wo honom but I feel say VAR for no omo te VAR room no omo ya for omo ho adi.
Ene de
Nema bi say sia said the thought that yetimi twe center referee aso ye twe linesman aso ne ade no I feel say VAR room no say e bowura.
Ebi yan say na Real Madrid na Real Sofia that wo La Liga for abagia tum say VAR referee no won si ase say one free referee na ma referee na be check.
It's a nipa corner na was a free referee na one free no. Then clearly means say honom no wanya na adwuma yi o. But wanya na adwuma yi ne dey na wo de ye no. O ma na fa no ho adi. E chi no obesan ye biem.
Well, let's move on. Barcelona for Akodru Newcastle. Ede nyame ase. Bakodru. Na mama here really. The coffee mama squad na me here there. My first squad na nkasa mama na me here there. Omo mo koye no. Juan Garcia, Hoja Session, Diego Costa, Ronald Arroyo, Pau Kubasi, Christiansen, Gerard Martin, Jules Koundé, Eric Garcia, Godfrey Torrance, midfielders, Pedri, Fermin Lopez, Marc Casado, Dani Olmo, Frankie de Jong, Marc Bernal. Anyway, Fran Torres, Lewandowski, Rafinha, Marcus Rashford, Rooney Bargi, and Fernandes. Inti squad no Frankie de Jong and pay doctors for no a pass and say oh you fit obetimi akwa akusi akai. Chelsea, Bayern Munich. Referee Jose Maria Sanchez of Spain on obejinem. Raul Caballero F Spain assistance line 1 no. Line 2 Inigo Prieto. 4th referee Guillermo Cuadra Fernandez. Video assistant referee akwawi on ube here Carlos del Cairo Grant internet as Spain for nko except for video assistant referee no ono na ofi Netherlands. Me no ka say Everton set na bigi be room ne discuss game me so my combined 11 bi na mesre kakra. They say I'm for church or margin combined 11 no bigi here almost man no ya Rich James right back, left back Marco Curiella, Jonathan Tah, Dio Upamecano 4 and 5. Midfielders: Cole Palmer, Moises Caicedo, Joshua Kimmich. Anyone Bayern on Luis Diaz, Harry Kane, Michael Olise. Into Chelsea players saying, say Abi 4. Abi the animals and come back. And a Bayern Munich 7. Big year game anymore. Now, some young of working, meaning say, Kofwan Semi or Mukin, yeah, sure, say,
yeah. Koku, only mobile.
Ah, Mammy had a COVID, Mammy had. South of Mammy had it. Manono, ya dear, son, a number 1. Reed James, Bayern Munich 2, what years, say, and Sasha Boy on Shadan. 3-1 also sono. Afonso Davis in your feet on Cajon and the Spanish on one 4 and 5 for no. Inti Trevor Chalobah on you move back because Chalobah has been playing well now saying recently.
I am a Desoka well Nancy. These players that are there have been consistent.
Okay. Jonathan Tanya no be here.
Oh, Jonathan Tanya from Bayern Leverkusen.
Oh, he can't buy and nothing was starting.
At Bayern he's been good.
Oh, now Chalobah hasn't he been good?
Chalobah has been good
this season. Chalobah Bobo Echenta.
There be a change of Kano.
Inti Chalobah needs a shout in this too.
Okopam Kano they are in a way major to Jonathan Tadie. He's been solid.
Midfield in there. Palmer, Caicedo, Kimmich.
Nyana Kenzo, but Joshua Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich. Champions League since 2022-2023. To me, he's been the best midfielder.
And I'm okay, so no problem. Any more for ne?
Any more than there? How crowd anything you didn't come on?
Sir.
Left wire. Pedro Neto. Estivayo.
Emfa. Right. Jamie Guinness, Munina, Obino, Bertrand.
Any more than back on card in this year.
Hurricane.
And the thing is here.
7-4 noir.
Oh, medium you okay with this, honestly.
But head to head net to saying coffee. Mammy Shannon, in rugby minimum. Because I won't say, Mammy head to head, the Biggie. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, who is saying? As a Chelsea woman kakra. These are the last 5. We are last 5 games. See, Bayern early did 3-2. Right?
Yeah.
In rugby minimum.
Kwaku, first of all, it's a game for 2 managers. Omoye a bit inexperienced. But Bakwa prove not in this tournament, but in a tournament. Probably because I are bigger than this one. Only in the because it is the World Cup for clubs. Enzo Maresca played in Europe last season. Now a conference league. Conference league, they put so much premium on. Because they feel it's a competition in form when it comes to European competitions. But after the conference league, you go Champions League. I'm sorry, Club World Cup. Akesefo, will be ase, and a kwakushia, no makwakusia kai. Then Enzo Maresca surprises everybody. I'm at the best team in Europe last season. Our Champions League in Impono. Our finals. Or share 3-0. It was barely an easy game for Chelsea Bobo Kono. And Chelsea it was our stage, And then no, and the performance our manager no. A man Nipadinya Gidio would say he's a good manager. Company on the other hand, and so somebody mono and you're bad. But at Bayern Munich, so would you league? Would you Bundesliga? It's slow news.
Okay.
Only idea be a bro so the Bundesliga derby. Because Bayern for Omun is a Bundesliga and are more or less like their best right. Omun is a time be Omun as a Omoji. Omun is a Bundesliga and Omodia. In the Champions League, and I'm more expecting a lot from more. But last season, the Champions League performance of Bayern Bobo Kono, then you're that bad. But Oman to me and Kwa anymore. Our Champions League anymore. So you get another opportunity to make amends. Appease the supporters with this season's Champions League. It is the old chassis. Now, old chassis will fear. The public expects to obey the unthinkable Because you have that home advantage. You have the supporters behind you. But Chelsea de Bayern Munich wa Allianz Arena. Chelsea be confident. Chelsea ni shake rampoa. They have history back here almost say even at the time Omobo Allianz Arena Champions League final na Bayern Munich home mpono. They were able to win the Champions League at their own backyard. Inti enye ne enje Champions League be that we won it in Germany yene omo. Inti ne aye kwakwa omo no. We are confident we can play them and get good results. Who are these two teams more? Picky players individually. I feel Bayern Munich has a lot of quality. Almost squad no more. It's combined 11 na yedi won common campo di dance. But between the two, the system, working the man the performance from last season, but clearly it is Chelsea. Chelsea rely on individual brilliance. There be on few occasions. Now player back standing to the test, they will make a difference. And the match Chelsea but Chelsea plays as a collective unit. And only at their air driver Chelsea team on. Now the Chelsea in central defense. And found so Pamecano more honum. Jonathan Tao. But they have to be very careful. Abraham said friend said João Pedro. He is very energetic. He is very strong. Abraham said no ding and found the kind of defensive setup Aoshia. Once you are meeting João Pedro, Koku a problem. Since you arriving with Chelsea, Abraham said naturally. So was our quality in and in the Champions League. Or not to be person as a player, be making it over starting year. Our Champions League in the Premier League, he's doing it. And the M-Fan was saying individually, Bayern Munich work quality. No? They have players from Chelsea, they have to contend with very well. Baby, I'm sure they about Chelsea, the midfield, Joshua Kimmich. Chelsea team, baby, a strong power. Chelsea midfield. Or Caicedo. Or Enzo. Now we call Palmer or Honoma. It is the strongest department of Chelsea. No two ways about that. But because they showed the match Chelsea were midfield just because of a single player, Joshua Kimmich. Because Champions League now, there are moments I been more picky man near my kind of for the past 3 seasons, our Champions League since 2022-2023 season, Joshua Kimmich, when it comes to Champions League completed passes on the league. Wow. For the past 3 seasons, our Champions League player our completed passes do Joshua Kimmich. 2,525 passes. Whoa. And yes, short. Debbie, any short, any sideways passes. Because since that period, 2023-2022, he has created the most chances in the Champions League. Okay. It is a passes a sideways and can create chances. Very well, true. It is a penetrative passes. A passes a quite new because the free time in Lebanon, we're creating 83 chances in the Champions League. The most from any player our Champions League. It was not a better threat at the amateur Chelsea. I said they have to make sure they have to stop him. So let's look at the Bayern midfield. Joshua Kimmich and the Leon Goretzka likely so bebo. And then I'm saying Seginabri or pick it form pa. And on one because likely say obe pretty as number 10. Inti because Musiala ni ho. Musiala ni when I say Michael Olise no ya na coach ni prefers so original left work. Yes. Inti even say a buying midfield of Pavlovic, I'm not too sure so best start see. Well anyway, but let you say Goretzka na start here. Sure. Kimmich ebe gina defenders nenim. Na wa ball e dey free Jonathan Ta and Upamecano controlling tempo no. Na Goretzka na box to box and one day yan ko pem yan ko tackle. Na Seginabri no so pretty as a number 10. Sure. In the same contest, they said the Chelsea for be your money, you know. Moises Caicedo na begina ajibon ni dey free defenders na nim. Na Enzo Fernandez na aye box to box. Na Kopama asa aye number 10. Inti se mitia adwuma Kimmich be ye no. Eno na Moises Caicedo ebe yo Chelsea. Adwuma Enzo Fernandez be no. Eno na Leon Goretzka ebe di ama Bayern Munich. And the Juma Seginabri be no and na Kopama be. But a different profiles are because Kimmich a controlling game. Yeah. Moises Caicedo doesn't control the game. A destructive midfielder. On only save formation in the plans. But omomo de na dem come on here then say, "Sa adwuma na
Caicedo can ebe ya also or the destructive no. And then a long risk abeye.
Yes.
But then obey in a form of box to box.
Yes.
But Chelsea the Enzo Mumbe control the game no.
On never control the game.
But on also control the game as a number 8.
Yes.
But at Bayern Munich they will control the game from the point of view from the number 6.
Yes. Which is more or less like a deep line playmaker.
Deep line playmaker.
Yes.
But Chelsea, they know they'll be operating more of a controller at the number 8.
Sure.
And I'm game in the there no.
Sure.
But Mr. Su say, bon, yes, sir, normally it's a 6 and 8 and I controlling games from the opposition side. Number 10 is crucial.
Of course. Of course.
Number 10 is crucial.
And when it comes to the number 10 there, and found on the ball as a Abribo. If it is Jamal Musiala, Ebian can come on be different. But between the two there. But
Biggie and come on, Bayern Munich for no. Say boy, no ball rings will be brew. Omo GD.
That's how we lose the ass. Now we lose our flanks. I don't know what will make you sure some controlling game.
Because the entire makers are necessary. Say no, jab on the my wingers. Omo GD say 1v1. And see, this leads me to this conversation. Say Marco Kurela versus Michael Olise.
That's a very bad.
Marco Kurela me on say players and person no more bo and Michael Olise. Me also share on Kukurela.
Sure.
And a right back one, Chelsea right back one, Rhys James versus Luis Diaz. If it's a 1v1 situation, no, so Bayern Munich for no overcome omo dia. Now we get ball to Hurricane and some for. So how are Chelsea going to stop these 1v1 situations? Just someone drop it back and
Rhys James the end na I feel say Rhys James position no. Whoever plays as the right centre back should make sure say Obama Rhys James that cover.
Okay.
Between Tosin and Rabiot and Chaloba. The Obama has the right centre back and also making sure because Rhys James is a right backer or type of so him.
Biggie slow too. The Obama right centre back or jump to cover Rhys James nature da ho. Into Aden Arada no yanka say right winger no onumom and drop it and double up
on the winger for Bayern Munich
on Luis Diaz instead.
And also so near bad. But I'm looking at an instance. Rhys James now you know no weapon
attack.
That is Rhys James' weapon.
No, but he say you cannot play against Luis Diaz and Michael Olise and decide to say may overlapping because
Chelsea to decide they say they have to go, but also almost ready cautiously.
Exactly.
So decide they say bebre so pressure.
No, but say me can say you can overlap. On say Chelsea boy against any other winger bia na coach no crowd betimi ama Marco Kurela e invent aba midfield emfa no
for Kukurela crampo the any position them any problem because Kukurela no matter call beko say also be any defensive duties he's going to be there. That is why I'm not talking about the Kukurela position.
We can't send you Rhys James.
Hey, Rhys James.
Games be say Malo goes to Nimbopa o. Tatashe. Katashina alone in Dimbi. What I say?
The Chelsea Paris Saint-Germain game.
Katashibi no dia bembo. But on say Chelsea were luxury. And then who Malo goes to start then yemi. In any ways, okay, so Rhys James starting now ko ya Malo goes to beat Nyabebo.
Of course.
Into our luxury of taming and look in any case Luis Diaz no omunimi no. So many but several times.
So and talking about Omonena Bano, I feel that this should also be a game for Jamie Gettins.
What's it?
It should be a game for Jamie Gettins.
I'm starting.
So your yes.
Hey!
Kwaku meba oyama show. No crepa. But the entire makers are say if you need a Chelsea player who knows the terrain Chelsea is traveling to very well, Gettins.
And it says Sadia
only buying a ball Bundesliga anymore.
We know Nyagi says Sadia and then no one drop Hurricane or Nicolas Jackson number. Says Sadia be Canada.
I can't go for you on the
because said no Obia.
I can't go for you on the Jackson.
Obia nim Chelsea team no. Hey Nicolas Jackson.
I'm information. I'm a Hurricane. No, because get this go and found say he hasn't been good in the Premier League, especially in the last match Chelsea played. But I feel that this should be a game for him to download the name Quadia.
Big it you. Bayern Munich for weakest point a defense. Still through right back and left back. Cora alignment and they're likely to be right back. Joseph Stanisic on your left back. And what you on the most times obo left back. Omo full back where you weak. Into was such Chelsea epe wingers are. Ombe cheer for more wingers no so. So Chelsea nya 1v1 situations. No more take advantage of Bayern Munich for wingers now. Ebe force Michael Olise ni Luis Diaz to automatically drop and help, which will help Chelsea. Into was such Chelsea epic good wingers, 2 wingers are. Omo jibola ombe twetwe for no.
You used to say why?
Oh. Extiva obetimi abo.
Extiva obem they are just a Pedro to cut the other flank. Because Extiva they heading over about the left right wing.
They say right one. Chelsea were Gittins and Garnacho. 2 places I don't expect them to start.
Intine say was say Yemfa Pedro to nko.
Aye.
Next Extiva you the right wing.
Me as I said Chelsea nya wingers so we powerful because Bayern Munich full back na enyo. So Chelsea needs to take advantage of that. That Upamecano here. Woman pressure on me more. Kopama and there's so young for no way. You
don't get things in the.
And yes, I'm in the Obaye and fire. And no, me ton come and as I say, only by winching how they play.
Sure.
And also so
no to Chelsea. If you bet Joe.
If you change a buy into which
Obaye are over this game.
On set
Chelsea on Brekum Park.
Maybe I won't come on me so much can say. Jamie Guinness, Oshatima, low blocker on Timimbo. Bayern Munich low block. Into bet me about in that contest. But my point is say, remember na bokrana obe free bench aba.
Okay.
Instead of so be starting.
But I feel that anyhow it is going to be.
Okay.
Once he get the opportunity to come in there, it should be a game for him. No difference maker at the match Chelsea because he knows the terrain very, very, very well. And see, Kwaku, Chelsea there, if they need a point, if Chelsea needs to win, maybe Medin Kanyaka player back up and a Chelsea making sure someone will stop Joshua Kimmich. Chelsea stopping now. Aside the passes are about for the past 3 years, any chances are creating. Last season in the Champions League, 2024-2025, we saw any player or ball a lot of line-breaking passes. Our Champions League anymore. 219.
What should Chelsea say? Joshua Kimmich can control the game now. Now so almost stop now. Just say man Markino. Now Chelsea, now just say. The ball number 10 with Chelsea, not necessarily. Kopama so on yes style of player no. Ana de Mickey. Inti se sadia. Se sana woka and then Enzo Fernandez na 10. Na Kopama operate from the writer. And then Sadia fine. Chelsea can man. Exactly because se sadia because Kopama ni nyobia obeti me man markisa. What I say? And now say Kopama should also let Kimmich chase him. No pushing Kimmich out of position. It also makes sense.
And I say I didn't see that coach in also Emma Enzo a role, a special role. So man and in couple of friends like Kimmich.
Kopama no some more pressure. Kopama be pressing from which angle? There is a chance be pressing a 4-4-2. And also
if it should be a coordinative press there, then probably also be a bonny role.
Well,
but I feel that Chelsea should find a way. Some of us stop Joshua Kimmich because it is because he has the ball. If he doesn't get the ball, it makes him useless.
This season, coach na catch Hurricanes on drop it because Jamal Musiala and went and Chelsea should be very careful because Hurricane may drop it and
Hurricane is also a ball playing center or drop you a bit to me.
Oh, says Nancy San or you. On say, Omunin Sisomun Sharanina Chana Maten. In Toronto, drop it. It's answer Seginabri will pace, you know. Or drop here and say na brimum na kobo more for number 9. What I say? Intino say or drop here say Moises Sky said on Sonia careful tackles and Hurricane no bet me am with Chani Biama with the yellow card na I stop you. What I say? Senior man.
A difficult game for both sides, but I feel say the quality and then the home advantage of Bayern Munich. Every player rule at the Bayern. I'll go for a double chance for Bayern. Possibly a 2-1 win.
Okay.
For Bayern Munich, yes. Unless Chelsea does the unthinkable and then surprises me, as Chelsea has always been doing. Yes, they are Chelsea. But maybe dear, if I'm placing my bet, I'll go behind Bayern Munich.
Blue is the color, football is the game. We are together, and winning is our aim. So cheer us up through the sun and rain, 'cause Chelsea is our name.
Men in black.
Chelsea for no. And that went in there no. Yeah.
of course.
They say yes.
And the Oma ya. Oma ya.
Anyway, ebe sanso aba na yeshia mwende stories no do so yemre and sweet. It say ebe sanso aba bio. What I say? Na yem pave way for the next program. Yango bo nshira o. Onka ho ondom ho bebre. Bye bye.